MH370.
The first thing, correct me if I'm wrong, you said we cannot rule out unlawful interference by third party. Could you clarify what you mean by that?
We have analyzed, or we have done analysis, and we have come up with finding. We have examined the pilot, the flight officer. We were quite satisfied with the background, with the training, with the mental health, mental state. We are not of the opinion that it could have been an event committed by the pilot. But at the same time, we cannot deny the fact that there was an air turn back. We cannot deny the fact that, as we have analyzed, the systems were manually turned off with intent or otherwise. So we feel that there's also one possibility that could account for all this. We are not ruling out any possibility. We're just saying that no matter what we do, we cannot exclude the possibility of a third person or a third party or unlawful interference. That is what we have included in our conclusion.
Hello, Siobhan Robbins from Sky News. It's been 4 years since MH370 disappeared. Today we were told this was going to be the final report. It isn't. How hopeful are you that you will eventually, at any point, get answers to tell the family what happened to their relatives?
Yes, this is not the final report. It will be too presumptuous of us to say this is a final report. If the wreckage has not been found, if no victims have been found, how could we call our report a final report? We are calling it a report because there must be some form of closure, albeit unsatisfactory to a lot of people. The answer can only be conclusive if the wreckage is found. And this report is released at this point of time because we do not know whether there will be a search in another time or whether there will be another team who will be assigned this task again. But as far as our team is concerned, we have done our job, we are ready to release it, and the government said yes, we can release it, so we release it at this point of time.
After releasing this report, will your group continue, will your team continue working or just like disband it, or will you continue the investigation?
When this report is released, there will be quite a heavy schedule for us in the sense that this coming Wednesday, we are going to China. We are briefing the NOK in China. There will be speaking and engagement. There will be questions and answers in the parliament, which will help the minister to draft reply. We will have to speak to TV stations who are interested to find out more about the report. We cannot refuse. This is our job. But there will be a time when the interest will fade. Maybe the month of August will be quite tight. But after August, we will have nothing to do. And we wouldn't want to hang around with nothing to do and still call ourselves a team. So we have already decided among ourselves that the moment this report is released and within a month, we will offer to terminate our contract with the government.
I would like to ask that there was a 3 minutes lapse from the transfer of from KL Control Tower to the Ho Chi Minh. So can you tell us the significance of this 3 minutes loss of control over this plane, and could it be the reason why the plane actually went missing? If you could elaborate that.
It will be too far-fetched to say that 3 minutes caused the disappearance. But what I'm going to tell you is the right procedure. In air traffic services, the right procedure is when you tell the other party, the receiving party, the ETA at 122, transfer point, you transfer at 122. Or if the aircraft on radar is over that transfer point, you can transfer. Okay, so these are the rules that you have to observe. But being flexible, there's also no harm for you to inform, not to transfer earlier, like 3 minutes, provided you inform the other party. If you don't inform the other party, what happened? The situation is this. Malaysian controller told the pilot, instruct the pilot, contact Ho Chi Minh at 120.9 megahertz. Okay? And pilot never contact Ho Chi Minh. KL controllers never inform Ho Chi Minh. How did you expect, or how do you expect Ho Chi Minh to know that the aircraft has been transferred? I am supposed to be in control of the aircraft, but when you just hand it to me and I don't even know that I'm in control. So that was the problem. And also compounded by the problem that the pilot did not, as instructed, contact Ho Chi Minh for reasons we do not know. So there was a gap of 3 minutes that was transferred earlier. And again, it was compounded. By 1:22, Ho Chi Minh should have called. So if Ho Chi Minh called at 1:22, the gap, the vacuum is only 3 minutes. But Ho Chi Minh called at 1:39, which means the gap is how many minutes? 1:39 minus 1:22, 17 minutes. Even you give 5 minutes grace, it's 12 minutes, which means that during that 12 minutes, anything can happen. The aircraft could have gone anywhere. Because it's a 777 aircraft, it flew very fast. If it's lost, you don't know where the aircraft had gone, you can actually, if you look at it, 152 is already back south of Penang. So you can imagine. So there was a gap, and it was quite a serious gap. Had the controller in Malaysia informed Ho Chi Minh, yes, I've already handled work control, then things are different.
So nobody was tracking the plane during that
No.
3 minutes?
So what's the possibility of a third-party intervention? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. But before I answer that question, I'm trying to tell you that when you investigate MH370, it's one of the toughest jobs in the world. You don't have anything to base on. You don't have any wreckage to base on. You have no information to base on. What we did, our team did, was to read all the reports, allegations, stories, gossips in the social media, and we put them all on the table. We have 60 over allegations, 60 over gossips that we have on the table. And at the end of the day, we remove them one by one and see what remained behind. Only 7 remain behind. So on your question, I have to be very careful here. I'm not ruling out anything, okay? I'm just trying to tell you that there were 2 psychiatrists in my team, and they were responsible for examining the audio recording conversation with the pilot and the controllers, and they concluded that there was no anxiety, there was no stress, okay, in the conversation. It was just like normal. And the 2 of them also examined the footage, the CCTV footage on many flights to find out how do they behave. Okay, on that night, on the 7th of March, we had footage evaluated on the time when the 2 pilot and the first officer arrived. From the time they arrived, from the time when they boarded, they were watching the footage. They did not find any significant behavioral changes. They examined the mannerism, they examined the facial expression, that they were well attired and groomed, and they examined their gait, their posture. Everything was normal. And we examined the financial. The financial was normal. Health was normal. Okay, no indication of social isolation, no self-neglect, no change of habits or interests. They just live a normal life like anybody. So we could not detect any abnormality. That was what we found. Okay, I'm not going beyond that. And then on the unlawful interference, as I said, we have put 60 and 70 items on the table, and we remove one by one. Unlawful interference could be one of them. But you have asked a very good question, because in the IKO, Annex 13, judicial and investigation are supposed to be separate. This is under paragraph 5.41, which says that judicial and safety investigation are separate. We are doing our work. The police are doing their work. We do not know what the police are doing. But definitely we will not be the one investigating because we do not have the power. So I can only tell you, based on what our team members said, we could not detect any abnormality with the pilots. That's the only thing we said. We did not say that they did not do it. Okay, it could be possible, but we are not excluding that. So we are only saying that since the pilots are unlikely to do it, and then the turn back was manual, okay, the system couldn't fail because everything seems to be okay. The aircraft was maintained well. There was no defects, no malfunction of everything, okay? And then after that, the transponder was switched off, the aircraft was switched off, and then the aircraft had turned back. So all these things irresistibly, I use the word irresistibly, point to the word unlawful interference. But having said that, since we are talking about this, if there's an unlawful interference, why were there not claims? Why were there not threats? Why were there no people coming up to claim responsibility? We don't find those things. So how could you say it's unlawful interference? So if all these things are none, who would do it just for nothing? So can you say unlawful interference could be accepted? I do not know. It's best for the police to tell. You're talking about the passengers. Have the passengers been profiled? All the passengers in the 15 countries have their background checked by their various local authorities, judicial authorities, namely the police. Okay? And we have come up, or they have come up with a clean bill of health for everybody. None of them had ever received any flight training. They are not able to pilot a plane. And also their background, terrorist association or whatever it is. So what I can tell you is that yes, based on the coordination between safety and police, we were told that all the passengers have been profiled, have been checked, and they were all cleared.
Sorry, just one final question. In the report, you recommended that there was more reporting and following up of crew mental health, and that Malaysia Airlines include medical records maintained at other clinics. Why did you recommend this if you are not of the opinion that the pilots or crew were behind the disappearance?
This recommendation has nothing to do with the mental state of the pilot. It's just that during investigation, we find that this is lacking in MAS, and this is a good practice, good governance, and we want MAS to practice it. Not that because we are suspecting something and we ask you to do it, no. These are all for good practices, good governance, and good aviation practices.